My poem is getting uploaded. My dog is asleep. It didn't take 25 minutes. And honestly, I'm quite cheap. I'm quite cheap. I'm quite cheap. I'm quite cheap. Bailey, this isn't sponsored by anyone apart from my doggy. Tickles and tinkles. Don't be offended, it's fire. And honestly, I look cool as fuck. Liar. It costs a fortune. It's legal to do. So don't fucking judge me. Achoo, achoo, achoo. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Here I am on the phone to your mother bastard sister. I'm swearing it's a bastard shark. But here they all are, leaving me in the dark. There's so much blue air. There's so much on fire. There's so many candles. There's so many liars. There's so many seconds I don't want to waste. I don't want to go on all of these days. I just want my daughter to be at the top of Paris. I just want my ices. I just want my sandwich. I just want it all. I just want to live lit. But I don't want to be a bigger Egypt. What about Crazy? What about Tracy? What about Jesse? What about Richie? What about Bitchy? What about Baby? What about Rights? What about Fights? What about Freedom? What about Nights? What about Genuine? What about Prayers? What about Annie's? What about Faith? What about Childhood? What about Wrath? What about Netflix? What about Zentex? What about shots? Wearing shoes where you have sex? What about makeup? What about glam? What about MC? MF Dan? What about Uno? What about Scott? What about Grandad? The wheel jog? What about heights, man? What about driving? What about dreams, man? What about thriving? What about fleas, man? What about Patch? What about Teddy? What about Patch? What about Matty? What about Imogen? What about Tyson? It's all been written. What about Tyson and 25 bison? What about nights on a mic I never had none? Oh, because chords are completely wrong. What about John? He's just a monk. Completely without. He's no power at all. What about Dane, man? What about Joe? What about Haley? What about love? What about driving? What about drugs? What's better, man? Tell the truth or be worse? Be a waste of air or all on girls? Now, I'm going to go in the shower because no sooner have I got in the shower, sat in it for 6 hours, I have a fag and I'm back to square one. And I can't do the hand symbol, I can't do the hand ASMR. Anti-stress movements and relaxation. I can't do the movements with my nails because they're real and I smoke. So I'm going to go in the shower, wash my nails and do the movements with another video. But I know Tingles did 5 minutes and like I say, he was asleep when I started, so I've already completed the task. I just don't want to lose my dog again. And like I say, I've set many candles. I'm drinking plenty of water. That's my dog. That's my daughter. What about spiders? What about fakes? What about MCs? What about snakes? What about colours? What about dreams? What about bears, man? What about fleas? You like these shoes? Do you like that? What about shoes? What about Semtex? What about Netflix? What about shoes you only wear when you have sex? What about makeup? What about glam? What about a name as delicious as Dan?